Our journey begins with the launch, arguably the most perilous phase of any space mission. A cocktail of exhilaration, anticipation, and fear, the launch is where dreams of space exploration meet the cold, hard reality of physics. Consider the rocket, a towering behemoth of engineering genius. It's a marvel, no doubt, but also a potential ticking time bomb. Every launch is a precarious balance of power and control. A minor malfunction, a slight miscalculation, or a tiny equipment failure could spell disaster. The history of space exploration has its share of heart-wrenching launch failures, explosions that serve as a grim reminder of the risks involved. Then there's the physical toll on the astronauts themselves. Imagine being strapped into a seat, your body pressed against it as though an invisible giant has his hand against your chest. This is the reality of extreme acceleration during launch. The force is so intense it can make breathing a Herculean effort. Your heart pounds like a drum, struggling against the pressure to pump blood to your brain. It's a test of endurance, a trial by fire that every astronaut must endure. Even if all goes well with the launch, the dangers are far from over. Once the rocket clears the Earth's atmosphere, the astronauts find themselves in the unforgiving void of space. Here, new challenges await: the constant threat of cosmic radiation, the isolation, the cold, the silence. Space is a realm that does not welcome its visitors lightly. In essence, the launch is a battle against gravity, a battle against our own physical limitations, and a battle against the inherent risks of relying on technology. It is the first of many hurdles that astronauts must overcome in their quest to explore the great beyond. As they ascend towards the stars, they leave behind the safety of Earth, venturing into a world where the rules of life as we know it are turned on their head. Surviving the launch is just the first hurdle in the perilous journey of space exploration. Once in space, the dangers don't stop, they simply change. Out here in the vast expanse of the cosmos, astronauts face a unique set of challenges. It's not just about navigating through the endless sea of stars, but also coping with the adverse effects that space has on the human body and mind. One of the primary threats that lurk in the darkness is radiation. With little to no protective atmosphere like we have on Earth, astronauts are exposed to high levels of cosmic radiation. This invisible enemy can damage their DNA, leading to an increased risk of cancer, and can even affect the nervous system, causing changes in cognitive function and behavior. Then there's the issue of weightlessness. Sure, floating around might seem like fun, but the lack of gravity can have detrimental effects on the human body. The bones start to lose their density, and muscles begin to atrophy due to the lack of use. This is why astronauts have to exercise for about 2 hours every day just to prevent severe muscle and bone loss. But the dangers aren't just physical. There's an often overlooked aspect of space travel that can be just as challenging: the psychological impact. Imagine being confined in a small space, millions of miles from home, with no immediate possibility of return. The isolation and confinement can lead to feelings of loneliness, depression, and anxiety. It's a test of mental endurance as much as it is a physical one. And let's not forget that all these risks are present while astronauts are performing high-stakes scientific research and maintaining complex machinery, tasks that demand intense focus and precision. It's a balancing act of managing their health and carrying out their mission objectives. Space, as beautiful and mesmerizing as it is a harsh and unforgiving environment. It's a place where humans are not meant to survive, let alone thrive. But despite these dangers, astronauts willingly venture into the unknown, pushing the boundaries of human knowledge and exploration. Living in space is not for the faint-hearted. It demands immense physical and mental resilience. Outer space is a hostile environment filled with threats that can harm or even kill an astronaut. Let's dive into some of these external threats that make space such a perilous frontier. First up, we have meteoroids. These are small fragments of debris in space, often remnants from comets or asteroids. While they may seem insignificant, these little rocks can pack a deadly punch. Traveling at speeds of up to 56,000 miles per hour, even a tiny meteoroid can cause significant damage to a spacecraft or astronaut. Next, we have the extreme temperatures in space. You see, the temperature in space is not as uniform as it is here on Earth. In the sunlight, it can be as hot as 250 degrees Fahrenheit, while in the shadow it can drop to a chilling minus 250 degrees. This drastic temperature swing can pose a serious threat to both the astronaut and their equipment. Then there's the vacuum of space itself. This is not your everyday household vacuum. The vacuum of space refers to the fact that space is essentially empty. This lack of air can have a dramatic effect on the human body. If an astronaut were to be exposed to this vacuum without protection, they could experience decompression sickness, also known as the bends. This can cause gas bubbles to form in their body fluids, leading to joint pains, dizziness, and in severe cases, death. Also, the vacuum of space can cause what's known as outgassing, where materials can lose their structural integrity and literally evaporate into space. This can potentially damage the spacecraft and equipment, putting the astronaut in grave danger. And let's not forget about the constant bombardment of cosmic radiation from the sun and other celestial bodies. This radiation can penetrate the spacecraft and the astronaut's body, potentially causing serious health issues like cancer. As you can see, space is fraught with dangers that could turn a routine mission into a deadly ordeal. Let's remember the bravery of those who venture into this hostile territory for the pursuit of knowledge and the advancement of humanity. The dangers of space exploration do not end until the astronaut is safely back on Earth. Now, let's delve into the final frontier of this perilous journey, the re-entry. The re-entry process is akin to threading a needle while riding a roller coaster. The spacecraft must enter the Earth's atmosphere at the perfect angle. A trajectory too steep might cause the spacecraft to burn up due to the intense heat generated by friction, a heat so fierce it can reach up to 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. On the other hand, a trajectory too shallow can lead to a catastrophic bounce back into space, and then there's the potential for a crash landing. Even with parachutes deployed, a slight miscalculation or equipment failure can turn a controlled descent into a terrifying plummet. Re-entry is the final challenge in the astronaut's journey, a fiery descent back to Earth.